Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're finally getting around to putting this hydraulic pump back together for my 4020 John Deere. And you can see I got all the pieces in there. I didn't video any of the tear down because I just started doing the videos last little while here. So I didn't have any video footage of this. But yeah, here's what kind of went on. Like this splines here were wore, but the biggest thing is it was leaking. And see if you can see all the grooves in there. And you can see the little marks right in here where the bearings, little needle bearings here, they kind of self-destructed a little bit. You can see where, and every one of them's got that little chewed up edge. And these washers, it actually, you can see, if I hold it the right angle, that wear mark, you can see it's actually got a fairly deep groove wore into it. And the bearings, yeah, it's seen its better days. But yeah, there's a few of the rollers in here that are just as bad. Well, not quite as bad. See, there's another one. And you roll it around and yeah, there's a whole bunch of chew marks on it. So I'm not sure what caused it. Obviously some debris and whatnot. And of course the bottom bearing inside. It's a real pain to get out. I ran a bead of weld and it still didn't want to come out. And I just cut off a big soup can, I guess. Well, not necessarily soup, it was kind of a pasta can. Just happened, I just cut the top off, but it happened to fit inside the bore, so I didn't get weld splatter inside the pump there. But I welded this block in there and I drove the thing out, and then after that I kind of cleaned this up. This is my my race driver. I just polished this end up. I ran it in the lathe and just kept polishing with emery cloth till it was just a loose fit, and put a bolt on there, and that's now my driver tool for the next pump. But yeah, so it was all the damage, so I had it all apart. It took me quite a while to get this here shaft. Had these parts for a while now, but I just finally getting around to putting it back together. I figured better get at this project again. But yeah, I'm just gonna set you up here, and right now I'm just setting up my end play on here. Let's see if you can see this. It should be okay. Got it kind of set at 0 there, and here I'll set you a little bit closer to this here. Hopefully you can see that. But yeah, it's sitting at 0. So basically I got about 8 thousandths end play on here, and of course I got a little bit of oil in there when I put the seal together and the bearings together. Come on, focus. So anyway, the specs call for 2 to 6 thousandths, and I'm at 8. So I already measured the shims on it, so there's two 6 thousandths shims in there, so I'm going to pull 1/6 out and put in a 10,000 shim, because I had to get some extra shims there. And even though it's got new bearings and whatnot, but obviously the new bearings aren't made to the exact 100% same spec as the originals. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to pull 1/6,000 shim out, and I tried running 3/6s because I've got 1/6 and 1/10, but 3/6s, it ends up being too tight. It's on the borderline at just around the 2 thousandths. So if I'll just pull 1/6 out and replace it with a 10, and that should get me pretty close. Okay, I'll bring you back when I'll get this thing, pull the cover off, but yeah, otherwise, yeah, here's the shims. One is 6,000, one is 10,000. So I figure whatever I got there, it's enough to deal with it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to get this top cover off here, and I'm going to swap out that shim and check the end play, and then I'm going to start putting her together. Yeah, hold on. Hey, get this cover off here and pull out that one shim there and set it all back up. And yeah, 'cause I got all these parts, some gotta go inside these tubes here, the plungers, and yeah, this isn't exactly okay. So here's the two 6/1000 shims, and I just gotta double check, make sure. But yeah, I'm just gonna put in one 10/1000 shim in there. Yeah, 6/1000 and 6/1000. Okay, so I'm just gonna take one of them out and we'll set that there, and I'll grab my 10/1000 shim and just set it on top, and hopefully it stays put for me. It's gonna be more fun when I put all these little pieces in there. Okay, just make sure I got this thing facing the right direction. Okay, unfortunately it's a bit of a pain in the ass setting up backwards. You gotta put it together, take it apart, put it together, take it apart. But that's just the way things go, apparently. I'll tighten this thing back up. Doesn't have to be tight, just because there's a bunch of O-rings that has to go inside after, so it'll get torqued properly at that point in time. But because right now I got no other tension on there. Okay, well, let's see what we come up with here. I'm just gonna kind of park you in a little closer to where I'm at here. Okay, well, let's see. There, hope you can see that now. Got to get this thing re-centered since I bumped it. Okay, kind of sort of sitting on zero there. And see what we end up with. Oh, perfect. 4/1000. That's right in between 2 and 6. Yeah, see right now you get a bit of an oil film, so it doesn't drop right back. So I gotta pull the bearing back against that oil film so it zeroes back out. But yeah, otherwise with 4/1000s, perfect. So I guess that's how many shims I'm gonna run in it. Okay, I'll just take this cover back off, and I'll bring you back when I start oiling up these little plungers and putting those back in, or these check valves rather. And I got a bunch of O-rings. I got to figure out which ones are which here, and I got to set it inside there. But I'll come back in a little bit when I get to that point. Hey, I'm just taking this plate off here now. Gonna have to basically kind of blow this thing off here a little bit. Get some of this oil off. Okay, let's see. I'm going to put my good shim to the top there so it doesn't get any premature wear on it. Just going to put a couple little dabs of trans-hydraulic oil on there, and that's just more so to keep them stuck down, so when I go to stick the thing back together, these things don't keep falling off, so it kind of sticks down a little bit. And now I just gotta put my little grease tub here. Grab my O-rings. Of course, they got a little bit of dust on them. So now just put a little dab of grease in these here holes. I guess I didn't really need to put it on the O-rings. I think I'm going to wear more of this grease than what the thing gets. Because I got to put this thing on upside down, so I need some grease on here to hold these O-rings together. I better put a little, where's my other one? There it is. I don't think I'm supposed to wear most of it, but so you can put a little tiny bit of grease all the way along here too, because otherwise you got metal, just bare metal, bare metal. There's no other sealant that goes on here. So I just kind of lightly coat it with a little bit of grease. Now when I clamp it down, it sort of keeps the corrosion down to a minimum. And let's see, I guess I need my big O-ring there. Just make sure I got the right O-ring for that. Yep. At this point in time, it's kind of grease is you're a little bit of a friend here. Okay, I got two little tiny O-rings yet to go in there. Just gotta find them here. Okay, here is one of them. dig this little tiny bit of grease out of here. And once the oil hits it, it'll wash it all down. It's not a real big deal with some grease on there. And there's one little tiny O-ring yet. I just gotta figure out which one it is. Okay, little fat one like. Okay, so I guess it's that's the old one. Or is it this one? That's got a yellow dot, that's got a yellow dot, so I guess I got two of those ones. Okay. Now that little guy goes in this little hole right there, which there's two ports right here. This O-ring here has to line up with this support here, and this little guy goes to the back, which will line up with that one. So just got to keep my orientation straight, because it will go in different positions, but okay. Otherwise, let's see. Now I want to get these little plungers in. Okay, this is number one. I had them all in order here. So I'm gonna put a few drops of oil in there. And this could be a bit of a challenge. You gotta kind of drop that in. Of course, I can't exactly see it. Oh, it's upside down. Go figure. Let's try this way. Nope. There we go. Now I can get a couple more drops on there. Put the spring in. Get some oil on that, and hopefully it'll stay upright. This could be a challenge. Just got to make sure those little plungers sit in the right orientation there. Because that's your suction check valves. So yeah, I got to get them all in position. Of course, I got these all numbered, all the ports numbered, so they're going back in the same position that they were originally. I guess I should just, probably just had a little cup here. It would probably been easier to, that one actually landed in the right spot. How about that? Just better double check that just to make sure it's in there properly. You definitely don't want to be putting these things in dry, because as soon as you start the tractor up with the pump running, it'll start scoring all these little plungers in there. That shouldn't actually move. That should stay put down underneath that where these O-rings are. It'll kind of bottom out on there. Okay, well, I'll put the rest of these in, and I'll just bring you back as soon as I get these here. I'll put back in, and I'll just double check they're in the right position, and then we'll struggle to put it together. Okay, I got these little plungers all back in, or check valves back into place. Now I was just trying to balance these things on there so they'll stay put. We're having a couple little issues here, I guess. Let's see. Stay. No. All right, let's see how this fares out here. Okay, I got my shims sitting in place here, so hopefully they don't fall out on me. Plungers are in place, but as you see, some of these are sitting at little goofy angles. So here goes. Well, let us see if we can get these all into place. Well, that's going to be a challenge. Okay, you go in there. Oop, that one went in. There we go. It's in there. I'm just going to put a little dab of oil on these threads here. Doesn't take a whole bunch. Just a little drop. Yeah, you got to figure this here pump, it started off, it was leaking out of the pressure fitting to start with when I got the tractor, and it was a loose fitting, but then there was also leaking out of the main shaft there. That's why I had to replace that one. And when I tore it into it to replace the seal, and that's when I realized it needed all the bearings and all the little rollers, the little race, and it was all the guts. And that wasn't exactly a cheap proposition, but I guess it was a whole lot cheaper to figure out how to tear this pump apart. I've never had one apart before. So, but it was a lot cheaper than replacing the pump. I'm just going to get this oil out of my way before I spill it. Now I'm just going to just snug these here up for now. I'll torque them all up properly after the fact, because I got to put O-rings in some of these other ports yet too. So. And all I can do is hope this thing doesn't leak when I get it all put back together. And hopefully I did it right. There. Well, so at least that part is done now. So now the next portion is put all these here plungers back in. You have to come back to this one, I guess. I'll just loosen it off anyway. I'll have to take the C-clamp off afterwards because I won't be able to. Okay, that one's loose, that one's loose, and that one's loose. Okay, so now what I'm going to end up doing is little plungers inside here. So this is, I got it stamped number 1 with the center punch. That was 2, 3, so on and so forth. So basically, so what I end up doing now is put a new O-ring on here. Come on. And make sure it doesn't roll the O-ring. And I'm not exactly 100% sure about what these Teflon washers are supposed to do, but I guess it comes in the kit, but they want you to put that on there. Get that ready. Yeah, just dip this in oil here, I guess. And we'll see how this here works. And we just put these little plungers in these holes. You kind of want to turn the crank around so the plunger is actually facing inwards. And put the caps back in. I'll come back and tighten those ones all up, but I'm going to have to spin this thing around. These are on the little one. Like the whole pump body itself's already been cleaned. So grab another O-ring, put some oil on it, and stick that on there. Come on, get on there. Grab a Teflon washer, slide it on, put that off to the side. Now just grab one of these little piston plungers. That's your, what creates your pressure, because it on that camshaft it's got a, instead of just a straight camshaft going on these plungers, it's actually got a race with those little needle bearings around that camshaft, and that's what actually goes up and down. So it's not a direct. Come on, get in there. Oh, you're gonna be stubborn, aren't you? Oh, there we go. So now we got that slid in there. And just put all these here little plungers all back in. So I already got 2 in, there's 6 more to go. I'm just not gonna torque them right down yet, because they gotta be all torqued to spec anyway. Okay, so I'm going to put these here other 6 plungers with plugs back in. As I once you tighten these up, these little Teflon washers, they'll just fall off. I think it's to keep from scoring the O-ring, because it is fairly high pressure. This is a little 2250 psi. So okay, so I'm gonna put these plungers in, and I'll come back when I get those all in, and I guess after that, then I'll probably recheck my end play once I torque that top plate up here, and just double check that end play, and it should be good. Hopefully I don't take it back apart. Okay, I'll see you in a bit. Okay, so these top cap bolts, they're just torqued to 85 foot-pounds. Oh, guess I'm gonna tighten this back down. And then these here main plunger plugs, they get torqued to 100 foot-pounds. Oops, too far. Back it up, Jack. 80. 100. Okay. Well, I guess I'll start at this here. I got to pull this clamp off to do this. Oh boy. Okay, that one's done. Okay, so I got two of them that are going to be a royal pain to torque, because I don't have a big enough vise to clamp this thing, and I got to make a little jig to hold the pump in place. Okay, so I guess I'll just have to kind of go around and a little bit of a pain dealing with this. Otherwise, I'll get these other two hard ones to get at. Let's just double check this one here. Okay. Just to keep my pump from spinning on me so it doesn't fall down. It's not exactly easy doing this when you don't have the leverage. Get on there. I'll clamp this thing back down here so it doesn't escape on me. There, now I can move on to the rest of these ones. Trying to do this without knocking you guys over here in your face. This is going to be... Oh, sorry about that, guys. There we go. She's all done. I just got a couple O-rings just to put into these here plugs and my suction line and pressure port, and that's it. But I guess in the meantime here, I'm just gonna double check. I'm just gonna turn my torque wrench back down. Set it off to the side here. But I wanna just recheck my let's see, blow you in here a little bit. See if I can get you guys zoomed in on this here. Of course, all that banging around, I shook my thing loose. All right, well, that's where it needs to be now. I just gotta figure out where I'm putting my little pry bar. I lost the pry bar. Oh, there it is. Okay. We're at 0 now. He's got to use this way. Got it sitting on the stand. One, 2, 3, 4 thousandths clearance for backlash, and you gotta bring that back down because of the oil film. Back to 0. Back to 4. Specs called between 2 and 6. So that's all good. So I'll just go ahead and just gonna put these O-rings in off camera there, and yeah, I've still got a lot of work to do on this here tractor. Has been sitting around for almost a couple years now. I painted part of it, and that's about as far as I got here. I'll just show you what I kind of been going at here. There, as you see, got skids of parts. Skids of parts underneath my workbench. Got the engine sitting over here. I still got to pull the oil pan off of that. That'll be another video because I just want to check the bearings. It was running good when I pulled it apart. And the biggest reason why this whole tractor come down, and yeah, I had the transmission all apart. And I flushed the whole system out because of all the debris, and I had a bunch of oil leaks. But it all started off with the input shaft on the transmission leaking. It took out the clutch, so I had to split it. And then I figured, okay, well, when I found out I had seals put in backwards, so I started digging into the whole thing. And I figured, well, got into it. So I figured I might as well kind of start painting it up as I go. But yeah, I got a whole pile of parts here to deal with, so. Okay, well, I guess I'll just leave that for now, and I'll just go ahead and put these here O-rings in. I don't think you guys need to see me put the O-rings in these here little ports. Just simple thing of putting an O-ring on and put it back together, and that's pretty much it for that. And then I'll clean it up and paint that, put it off to the side. I rebuilt the power steering box under there because the seal was leaking on the bottom of that thing, so that's all been resealed. So yeah, still got a lot of work to do on it. I've been working on way too long, but just trying to find the time to work on it. But yeah, I'll bring you back on this here one. This is going to be an ongoing project for a while, so there will be little videos here and there, kind of the progress on it. So just kind of keep watching for those ones, and I'll bring you guys up to date when I get more accomplished on this here tractor. Hopefully, like I said, at least it ran, but I needed bushings and seals, and then I kind of started rebuilding stuff, like all my clutch linkages. I drilled them, welded them up, re-drilled them, so put new bushings in. So everything will be pretty much like a new tractor when it's all done. Like I don't like sloppy linkage. Like I need to weld up the hydraulic control levers and drill the holes out again because there's so much slop in the linkage. Make some new rods for it. Otherwise, I'll figure something out for that part. Got to patch up the radiator. That was another leak. But anyways, going to leave this here at this for now, and we'll see you guys in the next one. And thanks for watching. Well guys, got it all those seals put in. Everything's all tightened down. I just left these inlet and pressure port, I just left them loose. I gotta still wash it out with some brake clean, and I'll put it away. I probably won't paint it till I'm ready to install it. And other than that, I'll probably throw a few pictures of I got some pictures of the teardown, but I had no video of the teardown and stuff like that, so I'll show some of the pictures that I had all gutted out. So hope you guys like this, and hope it kind of helps, so how we kind of got an idea how it all goes back together again if you ever take one of these apart. So seeing how I put it together, I'm sure you can figure out how to take it apart from that point. But yeah, otherwise, these here things, I just pulled this here O-ring. I didn't change the setting on the pressure and that, so I left that O-ring there. It wasn't leaking, so I figured no point disturbing it. And that's easy enough O-ring to change, just in behind this nut. Just got to hold it with a Allen wrench. But other than that, I'll put some pictures of the teardown on it, and that's all I got on this here one. It's too bad I didn't have any videos of the transmission teardown, but well, moving on. I guess I'll be videoing more on this tractor as I put it together. Okay, again, thanks for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed it. See you next time. Well guys, I thought I'd throw this in after I let you guys go. I'll just kind of clean it up, some of the stuff, like some of the oil on here, and look what happened. It's a chunk off one of the caps right there. All of a sudden went to turn it over, and I'll just wipe it down with some brake clean and a rag, and all of a sudden clink clink, and a couple little pieces fall off. And as you can see, it was broken for a long time. And yeah, I just torqued it to spec, and yeah, all of a sudden pieces are falling off on the thing. So I guess I gotta get a hold of the dealer and see if I can get the plug. And this other plug there, I don't know if you can see it, but it looks like it's got a little bit of a stress thing in there. I don't trust it, and I checked all the other ones. They seem to be fine, but I'm thinking what happened, somebody's hit it with an impact at one time. But anyways, I thought I'd throw that in there too, so we'll put it in the video. And okay, well, wish me luck on that. So I guess I'll have to go get some extra parts. All right, talk to you guys later.